Allen has time, throws to the left sideline, complete to Diggs, trying to spin away from the tacklers, and he does! 35-30, 25-20, headed to the end zone!
Spectacular catch and run. Just spectacular. They get Brown down the sideline, and boy, the fun begins after he gets the ball in his hands.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Backseat Huddle podcast, episode 69. Today, I am predicting every single game this week, and I'm on a fucking heater right now, so you're going to want to stick around for this. My overall record this season is 21-9, and last week I was 12-4, and the week before that, I was 4-1. So if you want those good fucking picks, you have come to the right place. Let's get started. Jets versus Broncos. Zach Wilson season is fucking here, boy. The New York Cougar killer outdueled Patty Ice in a loss last week where he looked really good. And now he gets to play against the Broncos defense, who somehow managed to make Justin Fields look functional. It's fucking happening, and you can't fucking stop it.
Bro, let's get straight to it. On my mama, we lit.
Gonna be honest, in my heart, I'm rooting for the Jets. But look, the good news is I can actually separate what I want to happen from what I think will happen. And the better news is that my huge fucking brain that knows literally fucking everything is telling me that the Jets are going to win this game. And they don't have to be great on offense to do it. Just like last season, they just have to be good enough, simply due to the matchup on the other side. Do we trust this Broncos offense against this Jets defense? I sure as shit don't. There is some concern for me that the Jets defense is allowing 150 yards per game on the ground. But the Broncos don't exactly run the ball super effectively. They're only averaging 95 yards rushing per game. So will they even be able to take advantage of that mismatch? I doubt it. Maybe this is a hard overhead pick, but I'm taking the Jets 24-21. 49ers versus Cowboys. This is a 49ers win I'm about 7 out of 10 confident about. I'm not a Cowboys believer. I don't think them blowing teams out means a damn thing. And I've been saying it since week 1.
Previously on Avatar.
Because the Cowboys do this at least once per season where they absolutely obliterate some underwhelming mid-ass opponent and then nothing becomes of it. If you don't believe me, I will prove it. The Cowboys beat Washington 47-16 in 2019. The Giants 44-20 in 2021. The Falcons 43-3 in 2021. Washington again, also in 2021, 56-17. The Eagles, 51-26 in 2021. Then the Vikings, 40-3, and the Colts, 54-19, both of those games last season. The Cowboys and 49ers aren't super far apart as far as the overall roster construction is concerned. The Cowboys match up fairly well in terms of talent. I don't think they're the same, but I certainly think they're in the same realm. I just don't believe in the Cowboys at the top. And that's why I can never bring myself to pick the Cowboys in big games. The problem is Mike McCarthy. He's a better head coach than a lot of us give him credit for. But when do you ever feel like Dallas has the coaching advantage? For me, not fucking very often. When it comes down to crucial moments, situational football, as these big games often do, I don't trust him. For that, I am taking San Francisco 27-24. Eagles versus Rams. All right, Los Angeles, it's time to prove it. Who are you? Who the fuck are you?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Are you the team that blew out the Seahawks by 17 points and barely lost the 49ers? Or are you the team that struggled to close the game out versus the Colts and then got fucking pistol whipped by the Bengals, who haven't done shit. Who are you? The better question is to the Rams offensive line. Who are you? What version of the Rams offensive line are we going to get? Are we going to get the Rams offensive line that pushed around the Colts D-line all day and opened up huge holes for Kieran Williams? Or are we going to get the Rams offensive line that gave up 6 sacks to the Bengals? Which one shows up? One of them is going to make this game competitive and winnable. The other one is going to get the Rams blown out. The matchup between the Rams offensive line and the Philadelphia defensive line will be the deciding factor in this game. Literally, fuck everything else. The Philadelphia D-line isn't as dominant as it was last season, but it's still not one to be truffled with. This game is going to be decided in the trenches, plain and simple. I do not have faith in the Rams' ability to block these dudes consistently, especially if the Eagles manage to take an early lead. Eagles 27-21. Jaguars versus Bills. We are not going to see a repeat for the Bills from last week because Trevor Lawrence is significantly better than Tua is. If the Jaguars make this game competitive or maybe even win it, it's going to be because of Trevor and his weapons finally getting it together. Last week, Tua, due to his limitations, has to play within structure and has to have Tyreek Hill have a big game or the offense doesn't fucking go. You can't say that about Trevor Lawrence. He plays well outside of structure. He's bigger, he's more athletic, and he can be relied on to actually carry this fucking offense when the designed play isn't there. When shit breaks down and a play needs to be made, Trevor Lawrence has the ability to make it. Tua doesn't. That's a big fucking deal. The Jacksonville Jaguars have been good. They've just been bad while they're good. They just keep dropping the fucking football. It's so fucking annoying. They can't keep shooting themselves in the foot every single week, can they? If we're talking about just weapons, I think the Jaguars are better than the Bills. ETN, Ridley, Christian Kirk, and Evan Ingram versus Diggs, Gabe Davis, James Cook, and Dalton Kincaid. I would give an edge to the Jaguars, mainly due to ETN and Ingram. But the Jaguars' issue shouldn't be their weapons, because at some point, they're going to start catching the fucking ball. The problem for the Jaguars is their offensive line stinks. They don't pass block well, and they can't run block consistently. And that's trouble against a Bills team that just shut down the best offense in the NFL. And that's exactly where I think the game will be won. The Bills' defensive line is just so much better than the Jags' offensive line, and it will end up taking its toll on this game down the stretch. But this game will be far closer for the Bills than it was last week because the Jags' defense is actually better than the Dolphins as well. The Dolphins don't have a pass rush. The Jaguars have a player that's tied for the league lead in sacks. The Bills are currently the number 1 or number 2 team in the NFL for reasons you already know. Fox has them at a 5.5-point favorite, which feels about right. I'm going to pick the game closer to there. I'm going to take the Bills 31-27. Chiefs versus Vikings. If there's going to be a crazy upset this week, it's going to be this game. I know that sounds ridiculous, but at some point, the Vikings are going to stop turning the ball over so much. They have 8 fumbles in 4 games, and they've lost 7 of them. That's fucking unheard of. 2 fumbles per game? No way that continues through the whole season. I don't have the courage to say they're going to clean those issues up this game, but I wouldn't be shocked if they do. I'm sorry. I just don't have the conviction to come out here and make a call that big. I'm sorry. The Vikings have been better than the Chiefs offensively this season when they're actually holding onto the fucking ball. And defensively, they've schemed themselves into being better than they were last season. They're not good, but they're better. To be honest with you guys, this is kind of one of those hunch games where I wouldn't be shocked to see the Vikings win this game. I just don't have the courage to pick it. So with that said, I'm taking the Chiefs 24-21. All right, let's move on to quick hitter picks. I only got one of these wrong last week, so fucking pay attention. Saints versus Patriots. I actually don't have any fucking idea who to pick for this game. They both looked inept last week. Patriots 20-17. Titans versus Colts. Colts 24-17. Fuck the Titans. Ravens versus Steelers. Ravens win easily 27-17. Lions versus Panthers. Lions also win easily 31-21. Falcons versus Texans. Falcons 21-24. So I'm sitting here editing this video. I literally have the video editor open.
And I realized I said Falcons 24-21. I'm not taking the Falcons 24-21. I'm taking the Texans 24-21. So sorry about that. And sorry you had to watch this like makeshift ass video.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Giants versus Dolphins. Dolphins blow out the Giants 41-17. Bengals versus Cardinals 21-20. I'm taking the Cardinals. And lastly, Packers versus Raiders. Packers get back on track 28-24 on Monday Night Football. So that's it, you guys. That's my show. Feel free to like and subscribe if you liked it. Take care, everybody.
Boom.